There's a new animation style blowing up on YouTube right now. You've probably already seen it. It's that iconic VOX-style papercut animation used to tell documentary stories, and these videos are pulling in millions of views because they hold attention from the first second to the last. When I went looking for tutorials on how creators were actually making them, I ran into the same wall every time. Every single one either relied on Claude code, buried you in a complicated multi-app workflow, or expected you to pay for expensive software before you'd even made your first video. Nothing was truly beginner-friendly, and nothing was free. So I spent the last few weeks testing different AI tools until I built a method that lets anyone create high-quality VOX-style animations using entirely free AI tools. No coding, no design background, no paid subscriptions required. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the complete process, from a blank page to a finished upload-ready video. That includes the script, the visuals, the animation, the voiceover, the music, and the final edit. And the best part is how fast it actually is once you've done it once or twice. Take a look at this animation I created in just about 5 minutes using the exact workflow you're about to learn.
November 24th, 1971. Portland International Airport. A man calling himself Dan Cooper buys a one-way ticket in cash. He boards flight 305, orders bourbon, and hands the stewardess a note. Inside his briefcase, he claims, is a bomb. He demands $200,000 and 4 parachutes. The plane lands, the money arrives, hostages go free. Somewhere over the Cascade Mountains in the freezing dark, Cooper opens the rear stairs and jumps. The parachute has never been.
Let's get into it. The first thing you'll need is the master prompts. These are the pre-built prompts that automate this entire system. You're not writing anything from scratch. Grab them from the link in the description or join my Telegram where I share the complete prompt library along with future updates and new workflows. Next, you'll need an AI chatbot to actually run the prompts. DeepSeek, Claude, and ChatGPT all handle this workflow well, so use whichever one you already have access to. I'm using Claude for this walkthrough because it's noticeably more consistent with long, structured prompts. It doesn't lose track of instructions halfway through the way some other models do. Open the master prompt document, copy the entire thing, paste it into your chatbot, and send it. After a few seconds of processing, it'll ask you for something called the engine PDF. Think of this as the knowledge base behind the whole system. It's what tells the AI exactly how to structure ideas, scripts, and prompts consistently every single time. You'll find the download link inside the master prompt document under the section labeled Engine Prompt. It opens as an 8-page PDF. Download it, drag it directly into your chat, type engine attached, and send it. Once it finishes processing, the workflow officially begins. The AI will first ask which niche you want to focus on. You'll see options like history, money and power, disaster and survival, documentary, technology, and sports. Or you can simply type your own if none of those fit. Based on what's performing well on channels like Vox right now, documentary and true crime style stories tend to do exceptionally well, so that's the category I'm sticking with. Once you pick a category, the AI generates 10 different video ideas for you to choose from. Skim through them and pick whichever one grabs your attention the fastest. That instinct usually translates to viewer interest too. For this walkthrough, I'm going with The Man Who Sold the Eiffel Tower Twice. Copy that title, paste it back in, and send it. The last question before the script gets written is video length. You can generate anything from a 30-second short up to a full 20-minute documentary. If you're building this for real uploads and long-term growth, I'd recommend aiming somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. That range tends to be the sweet spot for both watch time and ad revenue. Since this is a walkthrough, I'll generate a shorter example just to keep things moving, but the process is identical no matter which length you choose. The chatbot writes out a complete script and even tells you the exact word count, so you know your timing will line up once you get to voiceover. Claude is stricter about staying on track, so I've found direct commands like next or voice work far more reliably than vague phrasing. Type next, and the AI automatically breaks your script down into individual visual beats, essentially one beat per scene or moment change. My short script produced 27 beats, which tracks since the story had a lot of scene movement packed into it. If you want more or fewer visuals, you can simply ask it to increase or decrease the beat count before moving forward. Type next again, and here's where the real time gets saved. It generates a downloadable TXT file containing a fully written image prompt for every single beat. Instead of writing 30, 80, or 200 prompts by hand, every single one is already done for you. Download that that TXT file before moving forward, because it's about to automate almost the entire image generation stage. Depending on your video length, you might need anywhere from 30 images up to 200 or more. There's simply no realistic way to generate that many one at a time. Open Google Flow and start a new project. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a model selector. By default, it's usually set to the video model, so switch it over to the image model first, since we need our still images before we can animate anything. Set your aspect ratio based on your platform. I'm using 16:9 since this is a long-form YouTube video. For the image model itself, I'm going with Nano Banana since it consistently produces clean, stylistically consistent documentary artwork across an entire batch of prompts. Now, instead of pasting in each prompt manually, we're going to automate this using a free Chrome extension called ZappyFlow. Install it from the Chrome Web Store, then head back to Google Flow and confirm the extension shows connected to your current project. The default settings work fine out of the box. The only thing I'd recommend turning off is include serial number in file name, just to keep your downloaded files cleanly named. Upload the TXT file. Within seconds, ZappyFlow reads every prompt inside it and loads the full queue automatically. In my case, all 27 prompts appeared instantly, perfectly matched to my visual beats. Scroll down and click Start Generating, and the extension takes over completely. It sends each prompt to Google Flow one after another, generates the image, and downloads it straight to your computer without any extra steps from you. You can genuinely walk away from your desk while this runs in the background. A few minutes later, every image is finished, downloaded, and organized in your folder automatically. The style stays remarkably consistent across the whole batch, which is exactly what you want for a documentary aesthetic. Once it's done, you can close the extension. Its job here is finished. Head back to your chatbot and type Next. It now generates a universal animation prompt, a single prompt designed to animate every image using the same consistent motion style, so your finished video doesn't feel like it was stitched together from mismatched clips. By default, this prompt is written for 10-second animations, but I always ask it to rewrite the prompt for 5-second clips instead. Since shorter animations use noticeably fewer credits on most generation platforms, free or paid. Copy that finished prompt. You'll be reusing it for every single image. Back in Google Flow, switch the model selector from image model to video model. Set your output to one clip, roughly 5 to 6 seconds long. Drop in your first image, paste in the animation prompt, and click Generate. From here, the process is simple repetition. New image, same prompt, generate, download, move to the next one. Once you're a few images in, you'll fall into a rhythm and move through the whole batch quickly. While testing this workflow, I also compared results using Higgsfield's C-Dance model, a paid platform, so keep that in mind if you're trying to stay completely free. Each generation there cost around 23 credits at 720p, and the output quality was genuinely solid, clean, and stable motion overall. But for this specific style, I actually preferred Google Flow's OmniFlash model. The movement felt noticeably more natural, and in one shot, it even introduced an extra photo transition at the beginning of the clip that wasn't part of my original image at all. A small creative touch that made the whole scene feel more alive. For documentary-style content specifically, OmniFlash is the model I'd recommend sticking with. Once every image has been converted into a clip, this stage is done, and it moves faster than most people expect once you're in the flow of it. With the visuals finished, it's time to build the voiceover. If you want to stay completely free, a few solid options are Microsoft Clipchamp, which includes a surprisingly capable AI voice generator with no strict usage limits, CapCut Text-to-Speech, which gives you access to over 200 different AI voices on both desktop and mobile, and Noise AI, which offers around 2,000 free credits daily, though the voice quality is a step below the others. My personal go-to, though, is 11 Labs. The voice quality is the most natural of any tool I've tested, and it supports emotional delivery tags like whisper that let you control tone and pacing directly inside the text. That distinction matters more than people expect. YouTube has gotten significantly better at flagging flat, robotic-sounding AI narration, so a more natural voice model genuinely protects your ability to monetize down the line. Sign in, pick a voice that matches your tone, then head back to your script. Rather than generating the entire narration in one long pass, copy it section by section, generate each part individually, and download it before moving to the next. This makes it far easier to catch small pronunciation issues or regenerate just one line instead of the whole script if something sounds off. Once your narration is finished, it's time to add music. I'm using Suno AI for this. Click Create, enable the instrumental toggle so you get music without vocals competing with your narration, and describe the mood you're going for. For a documentary tone, something like cinematic, emotional, slowly building, intense orchestral background music works well. Generate a few variations, listen through them, and download the one that fits your story better best as an MP3. At this point, you have everything you need: your animated visuals, your voiceover, and your background music. All that's left is putting it together. I'm editing in CapCut because it's free and genuinely beginner-friendly, but this exact process translates directly to Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or Final Cut if that's what you're already comfortable with. Start a new project and import your full asset folder. Keeping every file type in one place makes the edit noticeably smoother. Place your background music on the timeline first, trim it roughly to length, and lower the volume so it sits quietly underneath the narration instead of competing with it. Next, drag in your voiceover clips in order and line them up so the narration flows seamlessly from start to finish. I usually select all the voiceover clips together and boost them slightly. Around 6.7 decibels tends to give a clean, clear balance over the music bed. With the audio locked in, bring in your animated clips and match each one to the section of narration it supports. Most of the heavy lifting is already done here, so this stage is really about fine-tuning, trimming a second here or there so the pacing feels natural against what's being said. Once everything is synced, add a few subtle transitions between scenes. I found slide transitions work especially well for this style, since they feel smooth without pulling attention away from the story. Camera transitions work nicely in a few select spots too. Just avoid using the exact same one throughout the entire video, since a little variety keeps the edit feeling dynamic without breaking the documentary tone. Captions are optional here. I usually leave them out for this particular style, since the visuals already carry plenty of on-screen text, labels, dates, maps, and stacking captions on top can make the frame feel cluttered. That said, it's entirely your call based on your audience and platform. Before exporting, watch the entire video back once from start to finish. Look for any timing mismatches, awkward cuts, or moments where the visuals drift out of sync with the narration, and fix those now. A few extra minutes of polish here makes a real difference in the final result. When you're happy with it, export at the same resolution you generated your animations in. If everything was rendered at 1080p, export at 1080p. If you used 720p throughout, stick with that to preserve consistent quality. You can always upscale later if you need a higher resolution version down the line. And that's the complete workflow, start to finish. From generating your idea and script to creating every visual, animating each scene, producing a natural sounding voiceover, generating original background music, and editing it all into a polished, upload-ready documentary video using tools that are almost entirely free. If this saved you time, grab the master prompts linked below and start building with your own topics. The more you run through this process, the faster it gets. I'll see you in the next one.